Okay, so I am recording this for YouTube from my laptop, so the lighting is a little funny, but eventually I will have a professional camera like promised. I am showing you my quinoa and beans recipe. I'm actually going to be making some fried plantain with it. Plantain you'll find in my culture, I'm West African, Liberian. You'll also find it in the Caribbean culture a lot. These beans are going to have kind of a Latin Caribbean kind of take on them. I got a big bag of beans from the dollar store for like $3. And I was so surprised because I used to get canned beans, but canned food is not as good for you. So I got the beans, a big bag of them, and half of this bag made like a whole pot of beans. It was crazy. And then I used to do brown rice, because everything in our culture is always rice. Whatever we do, palm butter, we do rice. Cassava leaf, we do rice. But I switched it with quinoa just because I like to stay healthy and fit. So I got my water boiling right here. And I'm just going to do a little. I'm just going to show you guys the recipe. And excuse the camera angles. 1 minute. So, love my Trader Joe's. I've got my gluten-free quinoa and a couple bucks a bag. It was two, I believe, for like $5 at Trader Joe's. So I picked up this one, and I also picked up the red quinoa. And I love quinoa. It's great for everything. Like I said, I replaced it with my rice. And it takes a little getting used to if you're used to rice, but to me, it's delicious. So, got my quinoa. The water's already boiling. And I have my beans that when I told you guys I made a big pot of beans, and I used it for my last rice or my last quinoa and beans recipe. It was too many beans, so I had to put some in. But this is just literally boil this. Get your pot to a boil, add a tiny bit of olive oil. You might not even need any oil, just maybe a smidge, and it becomes these beans. So these beans are pretty much pre-ready. Now, plantain is super, super, duper, 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 duper simple. It's just a banana. It's in the banana family, guys, but it has a lot more of a dense kind of property than a banana. And I wanted to include plantains. This isn't something that I normally have. My diet consists of pretty much fruits and vegetables, but my plantain was going kind of ripe. I noticed it was browning a little bit, so I definitely wanted to make it before it went bad because I do not like to waste money. So I'm giving my quinoa a little stir. Probably medium temperature is good. And I've already peeled my plantain. See? Looks just like a banana. This one's a little bit ripe. I got my skillet right here. I'm turning it on low heat while my olive oil warms up a little bit. And cooking is a labor of love. It's something that I love to do. I cook almost every single day. I enjoy cooking so much. Putting on some good music, some Stevie, and just getting into the cooking zone. So I'm going to dice up my plantain right here. You don't want to do it too thick. You don't want to do it too thin. See? Banana. Dice that up, dice it up, slice and dice it up. I might invite somebody over to, enjoy this plantain. Now, I don't know if you can or can't, but I would say unlike bananas, you really can't do plantain raw. I've never had it raw, at least. So, I'm turning the heat up a little bit on this plantain. so it can cook. Now, it is a sweet banana. I'm going to show you the spices because I like to, always keep it very flavorful. And I do add some spices to my plantain, mostly just a little bit of cinnamon. You can add a dash of nutmeg as well. You really don't need much more than that. You don't need honey, you don't need sugar. I've seen it done that way. I'm like, you guys are really overdoing it. It's already a banana, especially as ripe as this one is. It's already sweet. You don't need to add a whole bunch of stuff. Now, there's options. As you guys know, at the stores, you can buy plantain chips. It's basically just taking the banana and stripping it the long way. And those ones have salt, but this one is going to be sweet. So I'm looking at my quinoa. It's looking good. Quinoa, in my opinion, takes maybe a little bit longer than rice. Quinoa is good for everything because you can do quinoa bowls in the morning, which I love to do. I'll do my quinoa. I'll make my own, like almost like a smoothie but thicker. I might use like some coconut milk and add some bananas in it and some blueberries, and I'll pour that over my quinoa and add some crushed walnuts in the morning time, and you're good for the day. You've got your carbs, your healthy carbs, you've got your green. It's a very, very healthy way to start your day. So, this is a dinner meal. Now, I don't skip out on the flavor, like I said. I do not skip out on the flavor. So, I'll show you guys. I got my garlic cloves right here. I did use like regular garlic, not the pre-peeled. The pre-peeled is easier. It doesn't take that long to peel some garlic. But, you save money when you can buy a whole garlic clove for like 79 cents. So when you get it pre-peeled, they're going to charge you for that labor. Now, you want to chop your garlic as fine as possible because you don't want anybody just biting into like a big paw of garlic. Like, okay. And literally, I could cook all day. I love to cook so much. Today, I've been doing some music, some singing and dancing, which is what I love to do the most. But I also love to cook a lot, so chopping up my garlic nice and fine. You can also use a food processor to get it even more fine than this. You want to keep an eye on your plantain because you don't want it to burn. So I'm just flipping it right now. Uh-oh. You'll notice that one side of your pan may get a little, I noticed that one side of my pan almost gets hotter. So I do want to rotate it. And the thing also when you're making rice and you're making plantain, any kind of grain, you know that it's a lot tougher to take out the water than to add the water. So you just want to kind of keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. If it needs more water, add as needed. My quinoa is looking good, but it needs more water, so. So, give it a little stir, keeping an eye on the plantains. Meanwhile, and chopping my garlic. So I don't know if anybody saw this IG situation with Jill and Erica yesterday, but I was so inspired. I woke up and I sang all morning. Oh my gosh. I was listening to Jill the other week and I just had forgotten how much I loved her music. And I was so inspired. I mean, I know they say this all the time, but really they don't make music like they used to. And it's not like their music is like that old. It's like just a decade or so, but I just don't believe the quality of music has improved. So I definitely caught that IG of Erica and Jill, and I was extremely, extremely inspired. Alright, so some of this plantain's browning a little bit. Alright. Quinoa is cooking nicely. Got my garlic going. Got my garlic going. I did 3 cloves. You can do whatever amount of garlic you like. I like my food kind of garlicky. I think it's the magic spice. It's literally like, probably onions and garlic are my favorite ingredients to add to anything. So, yep. Got my garlic nice and diced up. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the quinoa. And, okay, so you guys saw me put a little extra water in there. I also have coconut milk. I know, it sounds strange, but it's something that you'll find in a lot of Caribbean recipes. So I'm going to add a little bit of coconut milk to my quinoa. And I have been using this coconut milk for my smoothies too, so it's pretty much at the bottom. And you don't want to overdo it with the coconut milk for a dinner recipe. Now for a breakfast recipe, you can use a little bit more, but you don't want the coconut milk because it does have a different flavor. You don't want it to overpower the flavor of the dinner. So the garlic's all mixed in. Now I've already taken a piece of my red onion. I'm going to dice that kind of fine. Right to the blues. Yeah. Whoa, come on, come on. Yeah, yeah. Half turned dark, yeah, yeah. And because I'm not cooking a ton of quinoa, I'm not even going to use the whole onion. To me, this is more than enough onion, right? So that goes in. Quinoa is just about ready. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more olive oil, so the onions can cook down before I add the beans. So just a little bit. Nice. I think think the quinoa is perfect, guys. I think it's perfect. So before I add my spices, I got my beans. Like I said, I'm not making a ton of quinoa and beans. So, you know, it's all about portion. You don't want to have too much quinoa. You don't want to have too much beans. I'm adding about half. Now, you can add more beans because beans are pretty filling. But I think that this is the right portion. Oh my God. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I'm gonna add a little bit more beans. It's perfect. It's perfect right now, guys. It tastes so good right now that the garlic and the onions is just so good right now that you may not even want to put spices, but I love my spices, so I am. So I will do a video on this. I know it says roasted hummus, but I just reuse this container, guys. This is my own hummus. I'm adding it to my rice and beans because it's really, really good. I just used 2 cans of garbanzo bean chickpeas and made my own hummus. So I'm gonna do one, like 3/4 of a tablespoon. Mix that up. Guys, I'm telling you, this is so good. You're not even gonna miss rice. Ooh. Oh, so good. So this is a jerk seasoning. You can get it at any like Caribbean store, and it's got everything in there, okay? But it's already very spicy, and it already has a fair amount of salt in it. However, it is fully vegan, so it's got hot peppers, it's got thyme, it's got all the like a lot of flavors that you want already. And this is why I'm calling this semi home cooked meal. You want to be careful with this because this really will make your food too spicy or too salty. So I'm doing a teaspoon, and that's it. Into my life again. Give it a good swirl. Yummy, 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 yummy. Doesn't need any more salt. Wow. 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 Because I like my food extra garlicky, I'm doing a little bit more garlic, but garlic powder. I just sprinkle it. I'm not measuring it, just making sure that the whole rice and beans, the grain gets covered. I like my food spicy. You don't have to. After that, it's already got a kick, but I am adding just like a little bit of crushed red pepper. And this you can get in bulk. It is turmeric. Again, it's a strong flavor, so I'm literally only doing a half a teaspoon. Like a half a teaspoon of it, and that's it. Be careful because turmeric will stain. Be careful. Finally, ground chili powder. Probably probably a quarter of a teaspoon of that. Give that a good scoop. A good. This one is so delicious. Oh my gosh. It's perfect. It's perfect. So guys, this is the finale, the grand finale. It's just a little bit of like cabbage. I would probably do like more of a fresh cabbage slaw with some sliced mango in it. You can see the quinoa and beans right here, and my plantain, and bon appetit!